Hey everybody, good morning. Let's get started. Welcome to the HSE Module Enhancements webinar number 151. So quickly on the agenda, we'd like to talk to you about managing HSE compliance inside of RigER, which involves incident reporting and resolution, and managing communications between internal stakeholders and clients. And we'll wrap everything up today by showing you HSE trend analysis reporting so you can better measure against your HSE policies. Today's presenters are Alex Yegorchev, a software consultant at RigER, and Danny Lazaryevsky at RigER as Director of Implementation. So the RigER HSE module starts with HSE compliance, and it is a nice complement to the RigER operations suite because in the oilfield industry and oil and gas sector, safety is paramount to protect your workers, the environment around you, and the surrounding communities. Therefore, we've developed an HSE module to help you keep track of HSE incidents and those individual details that are so important to those incidents, through which, through the process of that data gathering, you can gain foresight into the causes of those accidents, and you can see which ones are the most frequent so that you can resolve them and issue new HSE policies and also measure against that. As you may know, if you're in the HSE role department, protecting the health data of the employees of your company and conforming to HIPAA guidelines is very important. So we'll show you how we handled that task with the RigER HSE module. So everything starts with setting up HSE and RigER. And this is, again, important to conform to the HIPAA guidelines because we don't want just about everybody to see the HSE incident reports and incident documents inside of RigER. That feature is turned on and it can be accessed through the safety menu at the top of the screen, and you can report incidents in the document called incident report form, and you also have reports and HSE setting tools accessible to you here. So when we set up HSE settings, we have strict permissions guided by the users, the named users, user roles. The originators are the folks that can create an incident report document, so you can initiate it. The investigator then reviews the incident and determines the direct and root causes and sets forward a corrective action plan. Following that, the claims department can go in and assign the cost, analyze the cost that may have been involved in the incident, and the admin role is responsible for verifying the investigation, the details of the incident. And by admin, I mean strictly an HSE admin. This is typically the head of the department or a couple key players in the HSE department who have the responsibility to assign all of these roles here in the settings and view and control the information inside the incident reports. So in this instance, John Smith at the very bottom there, if they don't have any roles assigned to them in HSE settings, they will not be able to see any HSE documents, reports, etc. And the higher level of visibility would be assigned to the VP and management and the admin roles. So we'll dive a little bit more into that on the next slide. The other settings that you can enable are default investigator and claims responsible people. Those may not change very often. And at the bottom, you can toggle on and off the company-wide email setting. So if an incident report does occur, very minimal information goes out, but just lets the folks know that, hey, we've had this incident type occur. It's a reminder, it's an FYI. Which with that also an incident report print form goes out And again, that's where you can see what happened. We protect the employee information and names, and we don't disclose too much on these emails. The secondary check mark here for VP management role access, you can check on that, and those that are assigned the VP and management role in the HSE settings can only see the incidents that occurred for their department. So if you need to limit a little bit of the visibility by the VP role, you can do that here. This is perhaps the most important roles matrix to reference when you're setting up the HSE settings. And basically, what it goes through is that you have roles and settings here on the left, and who can view the IRF document. The IRF document is that incident report form, or simply known as the incident report. And if you're an originator, you can view only those incidents that you've created. So you don't see another person's incident that they reported. And the originator is typically a manager. Maybe one of his employees was involved in an incident, or something happened at a site and they need to report that, you know, an act of God, a flood or something happened. So they're typically that's the role assigned to the manager. So they can edit, write and create an incident report. And every incident starts with the initialization phase. That's the opening of the incident report. If you're also assigned an investigator role, you can then, once the incident has been reported and switched to investigation status, you can edit the direct causes, make notes, and investigate the report. There's an equipment damages portion where they can fill out the equipment that was involved, or any injuries, if any. The HSE administrator is, again, that's head of department. They can view, edit, create the incident rules. They can view cost analysis in addition to in the investigation tabs. And the claims department can view the incident report and edit the cost analysis. Again, the VP role, they can access the incident report and view the print forms, and because they're likely the folks that are managing and reviewing incidents within their department and or communicating with the clients, which is an important step here. So again, if you have any of the roles assigned, you can view the incident reports, but it's very important to differentiate that if you're only an originator or perhaps an investigator, that you can only see the incident reports. And what I mean by incident report documents is you can only see those that are assigned to you. That is a way to protect too much information being shared and help you stay within HIPAA guidelines for confidentiality. I'll take you through a process of incident reporting and setting a corrective action plan. In the next few slides, we'll show you how to timely and accurately report those incidents, perform an investigation, and assign a corrective action. So once you're created the incident report, you're in the initialization stage, and this is where you're assigning the incident type at the top. Again, these are drop-down catalogs, and those catalogs are managed, created, and edited by the HSE administrator. You fill out the header, you can pull in delivery ticket information if need be, and then most importantly, you're recording the date of the incident, the employee that was involved, and in the incident synopsis, you're giving a brief statement of what occurred during the incident. And in the box below it is the full details of the incident, which can be edited by, and is typically edited by the admin as this incident report investigation goes on. The admin is adding fields in here. So the synopsis is the box that we can share with the customers, we can share between management. It does come up on the reports, but the detailed information stays within the incident report, and it's not meant to be shared unless approved by HSE managers. Down here, you have the equipment damage that you can report if anything had occurred during the incident. So once we go and set the status from implementation to investigation, if you had the company-wide email checked off, the personnel, any personnel that has a check mark in the HSE settings roles will receive that. So that doesn't mean everybody in the company. If, like I said, if John Smith doesn't have any access to HSE settings, he will not be receiving emails. He will not be viewing incident reports. So once you get to the investigation stage, the investigator takes over, and here you can see the investigative narrative that they are providing and editing, and the initial cause that they've gathered from the parties that were involved. Here in the assign to box lower, you can see that you can add multiple rows, and what those are is a description of what happened, and you're trying to correlate a direct cause and a root cause to what had occurred. Again, these are drop-down catalogs that can be edited, managed, and by HSE admin, and you can also add comments in the sections here. When you have determined that there's a need for a corrective action plan, you assign a task to an employee with, once you open that task up, there are detailed notes that you can write out for the corrective action so that the task is performed, and you can track the results, whether it's completed or ongoing. That would be done. The corrective action is done through the tasks, and the last section at the bottom, if you happen to have any witnesses or need witnesses that, for example, for a vehicle incident report, you can write those out here. It's not a case that every incident will see one, but the option is there. You can see that the injury and vehicle incident investigation tabs are grayed out, so there's currently no access to it. I'll show you how to enable those in the next few slides. So let's say the investigation is completed. You've changed your status to verification. You can then, as a HSE admin, perform the last few checks, make some notes about the incident, and you have the USCG, BSE, and NRC numbers here, which if you're reporting this incident outside the company, this will help you stay compliant. And again, everything's in one place, so, and it's standardized within the RigER module, and you can perform your verification tasks here as the admin. This is a brief view of the cost analysis page. So as the claims responsible or cost responsible person, you're going in here determining if there were any costs associated with the incident, and you're recording them here. Okay, so to open up access to the injury and the vehicle incident investigation reports, the incident type has to be set to one of the three, either injury, vehicle incident, or vehicle with injury, which will open up both of those. And again, if there was an injury involved, you can write the action cause, physician if applicable. First contact would be the person who you had first contact with after the incident, and the body part that may have been involved, right? So that you have your notes and disposition. You keep track of it here. With the vehicle incident report form, again, very similar, drop-down menus. You go through and gather the information through the investigation of when did this occur, what type of weather conditions, what were the contributing factors and collision indicators in this case. Again, everything is a standard form. You've got these tabs in every incident report, and what this helps with is keeping everything in one place. And because hours and even days after an incident occurs, your memory starts to fade, right? You start to forget little details about the incident. And if those are to be investigated at a later date, you need to be able to have a place, a source, a system where you can record these details and keep them there for access in the future. Okay, that brings us to our first Q&A session.
Thank you, Danny. Yes, we have a couple of questions. First one is, does the HSE model come in a basic RigER configuration?
The HSE module is an add-on, so you'll have to determine if that's something that is needed for your company. You can reach out to the RigER consultant. We can turn that on for our existing customers, or after the first implementation, we can talk about turning on the add-on after we've launched the operations module.
And another one, HSE admin, and there is a RigER admin. And the question is, can the RigER admin access HSE model?
Good question, because the RigER admin is supposed to be having the highest rights. However, when confidential information comes into play, we decided that for the HSE module, you're going to have your main RigER admin assign an HSE admin. And that HSE admin is then going to control the permissions for the rest of the team regarding HSE. So if the RigER admin does need access to HSE, they would have to also assign themselves HSE admin access. Well, let's get moving and talk about the management of communications between management, internal teams, and your clients. And we'll also show you the HSE trend analysis reporting. So once you enter the incident report, there are multiple print forms here. The email form and the final complete are accessible only to the HSE admin. The management and client are accessible to the admin and VP management roles. So when you open that up, you'll see on page 1 the headers, then page 2 the incident details, and the investigation when completed. You'll see when it was performed and by who, as listed at the bottom. In the client redacted form, this is something that you can email or save as a PDF and send this to your client. This is a redacted form, so just the same form you saw previously, but less information, and just enough information to share with a client that is needed. And again, important to remember here that the HSE admin can see all 4 print forms, and the VP management can see the management report and the client redacted that you see here. Okay. And as far as the HSE reporting, because you have been putting incidents into the RigER HSE module, you are gathering data. You may be interested in identifying what are the trends here, right? So in the incident reporting, you have a few different reports. The incident listing is more of a formal report. This is something you can PDF, and this gives a brief incident synopsis that you can drill down on and go to the incident document. The reports are available to the HSE admin, so not everybody can access this. And a particularly interesting one is the incident report by count. You can choose the variant here, whether it's incident type, direct cause, and generate a report. This is a trend that you will see by department, and you can see what type of incident types, injuries, weather, act of God, and where are they occurring, right? You can also drill down on those reports and see the details. The incident manager review. Again, this is for the manager. It's very similar to the incident listing, but this is where you can print, save, or export to Excel or email this report. This is basically, this is useful for if you have a department, a manager can print out a list of reports for the month, and they can review that during their safety meetings. Why are we doing this? Because the systematic approach gives you the ability to identify clusters of similar type incidents to highlight any recurring issues. Once you identify recurring issues, you can then address them by either implementing new HSE policies, more training, or simply just making the work environment safer. Because at the very end of the day, what's important is keeping your employees safe, healthy, and families returning back, those employees coming back to their families. And that just breeds, good rapport with your customers, and they see that the quality of your work and the emphasis you put on safety is something they value. So they work with you. That's it for the HSE module. We've just gone through the setup and the reporting. So let's go ahead and see if there are any additional questions that we can address.
And the first one is, are there any additional reports that can be constructed by the RigER user?
That's an interesting question. Okay, so the reports are constructed by the RigER team. We typically don't give access to parse out reports within RigER, but interesting that you ask, because there's a lot of data in the HSE module itself. And so if you needed to see a different format, that's definitely something we can provide for you. We just need to discuss your requirements before building out the report. Thanks.
And another one, how can I attach any pictures or proof screenshots to the incident report?
Yes, within the incident report document, there is an attached files section where you can attach those pictures or PDFs, additional information. That's very similar to how we have the setup in other documents within RigER, where you can attach additional information. All right, well, our next webinars are coming up, and please keep track of those. They'll be posted on our website as well as LinkedIn, and we'll send out reminders to sign up for those webinars coming up. The offshore equipment inspections is related to our offshore module. That'll be on September 26th. And then we'll have a webinar going through the similarities, differences between RigER and the RTMS system on October 10th. And we are planning a new release where we'll discuss the new release features and enhancements for RigER 12.0. That'll be at the end of October. Thank you very much, and hope you found it insightful.